looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Asherbranner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
Good afternoon. I almost said evening. Dadgum. I am so glad to be back on Mike King Biz Radio, ESPN RVA. Oh, wow. Thank you, Mike King. We love rolling with you, my friend. Hey, birds of a feather flock together, dadgummit. And wow, today we're not gonna waste any time, folks. Unbelievable. All right. The master trainers to high impact speakers are with us today. The great Steve and Jayne Lowell. Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, when I tell y'all I feel like a poor kid waking up in Santa's workshop, dadgummit, y'all know I ain't lying. All right. So super honored to have them. And I want to give a quick shout out. Uh, oh, dadgum. See, we had all kind of technical issues. Y'all know how that is. And then we come up and smile like nothing happened. That's called professionalism, right? So let me give a shout out. Hey, wonderful hound made the introduction to these two amazing superstars that are going to really do some great things, guys. Hang in there for this show because what they're going to give away and do for us is unbelievable. I mean, it blew me away. So before they change their mind, I'm going to pull them up here, but wanted to make sure we said thank you to Brand Face and Tanya Eberhardt, and Michael Carr. Boy, they made my brand what it is today. So that's enough said, right? So change how you're seen, charge what you're worth. Thank you so much for this. All you do for everyone, you push everyone up. And on without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the rock stars up, the happy couple. Look, I'm pushing buttons I ain't supposed to be pushing. I know it.
You're doing a great job, Mike. It's all awesome.
Hey, flattery will get you absolutely everywhere, folks. So thank you for that. You folks in the comments, hey, if you got questions, we'll do our best to address those and throw them up. Cheerlead, have fun, connect with each other. Dadgummit, this is high level, heart centered professional time. Make sure you're not pitch slapping with a P, right? But have fun if you're in the comments. We are live since you're hearing this on the radio. Thank you for joining us. And again, thank you, Mike King. You're the man, always pushing up his community. So, how are you and Steve doing today, Jayne?
Oh, we're awesome. Really great. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, can you tell I'm excited a little bit?
I can tell. We're excited too. We're just not as excitable as you. That's all.
No, nobody is.
Nobody's as excitable as Mike.
Hey, these folks met me before, absolutely, and there's some new folks out there. So, wow, oh my goodness. So, Steve, if you don't mind, because I don't want to. Usually, I give the little bio and the story, but look who we're talking to, right? Like, who can tell a story like you, my friend? So, if you would give us that amazing backdrop story, and we can get trucking along.
Sure. Which part of the backdrop story would you like? It's huge.
I like the one with the guitar and the stuff like the website. I like that one.
All right, cool.
That was best.
Yeah. Okay. So I started performing on stage at the age of 6 when I was a guitar player, a little young guitar player, and I started performing at different places. And I fell in love with being in front of an audience. And then in my teens, I had a band, and we toured Canada and played all the worst bars in the country. And then by the time I got into my late teens, early 20s. I was doing a solo show, just me and a guitar. Now, I was never really a singer in the band. So a solo show, I had to learn how to do some singing. And what I tell people is, people used to come up to me and they'd hear me sing and they'd say, Steve, maybe you should just say the words. And so that's kind of how I became. But I stumbled across a video by Zig Ziglar. First time I'd ever seen anybody on a stage as a speaker. I didn't even know that it existed. And so I thought it was so cool because here's this guy on the stage. He's got no equipment. He's got no bandmates that are, drunk. His audience isn't drunk. And all he's doing is standing up there saying things and getting paid for it. And I thought, wow, that sounds like a good job. So I started studying that. And then I went to work for the Dale Carnegie training organization for a while and learned how to do it professionally, became an instructor with them. I left them and started my own business in my early 20s. And here I am.
Wow. So I got to ask, musician. Okay. Any bluegrass, any country? No. or
Oh
what
yeah,
kind of?
a lot of country, and I used to do bluegrass. In fact, I was the only guitarist in the area that anybody knew who could play Ricky Skaggs' "Country Boy" properly. And if you've ever heard that song, you know it's a real feat to to do that. Unfortunately, that was pretty much the only thing that I could do really well. So, but it was a lot of fun.
He said if I. Okay. Folks in the radio, y'all got to check this out on YouTube. Hounds of Business, man. Look at me if you haven't met me yet. Yeah, of course I've heard.
How
Yeah.
could you not know
I'm
Ricky
sitting here in
Skaggs?
a cheap flannel shirt and a camo hat. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I'm sure. I'm
More
sure
than
you
one.
were a major inspiration for Ricky as well.
Mm.
Long lineage of country folks and rednecks, man. Yes, sir. So, did your music background, did that have any influence on the public speaking end? Like
Oh,
how
100%,
much?
because that's where I got comfortable on the stage. That's where I learned how to work with an audience, how to converse with an audience, and how to use the platform and all of those things. So it was a great foundation for that. Yeah.
Wow. So you mentioned Zig Ziglar. Wow, like, unless you've been under a rock and, for 100 years, Zig Ziglar. I mean, it was Jim Rome for me, right? Like
Mhm.
that was and his mentor and guy was Zig Ziglar. So how did that shape, if you don't mind, dive a little deeper and how did that shape your career path? How influential was Zig?
He was massively influential. I met him twice. He provided a little bit of guidance for me, but most of all, I just studied him like a hawk. I studied everything he did, every movement he made, every intonation in his voice. I studied everything because other speakers that I would see once I got into the business, none of them, in my judgment, compared to him. And so he was the foundation, upon which everything I've done started to be built.
Wow. That and also, Carnegie, right? So you talked about this in the longer bio story, right? You got 50 million stories to pull out, man. I love it. Like 50
Yeah.
arrows in the quiver.
Yeah.
You got one for every occasion, man. I'm watching. I'm paying note. I'm paying attention, taking note. So Carnegie, your first experience was a coaching a student in the Carnegie program. You tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when I decided I wanted to get in the speaking business, I decided I should learn the professional aspects of it. And so I joined the Dale Carnegie organization as a student. And in very short order, I was working for them. And I was sitting in the back of a class one time, and in my head, I would watch the instructors and I would instruct in my head. Right. And one of the instructors asked me one time if I wanted to try coaching. I said, yes, I would. And so they put me in front of this student, and he was the student that they put in front of me. He was the one guy in the entire class who didn't want to be there. And he was miserable. His boss forced him to be there to develop a personality or something. But within a couple of seconds, I had that guy opened up. And he got emotional. He got involved. He broke right through, and he never went back. And that's the moment that I said to myself, I can do this. I'm good at this. And so that's what I call my moment. So that was pretty important. And then I went on to be an instructor, trained as an instructor with Carnegie over the years. But then what happened was, when it came time for me to sign the contract to be an instructor, there were some clauses in the contract that I didn't like. And the reality was, I didn't actually believe in much of what they were teaching. And so I couldn't in good conscience go forward with it. So I bid my goodbyes and went and started on my own.
Wow. Everybody listening out there, because we have folks who, have hit some level of successes, people who are starting off, a variety of folks, right? And I love the theme that I always say, like a redneck parrot, man, courage before confidence.
Mm.
That was you.
Mm.
Because it's so easy. Oh, I'm not doing that. This guy don't want to be here. This wasn't on my radar. I'm singing at, country shows. And then boom, you found your thing. Like I didn't plan on this. You're going to lead a community of amazing people. No, absolutely not. Right. So I
Yeah.
love that. It's the undertone of what you're about. Hey, go out there and explore, man. You have no idea what you're capable of or what could happen. So, on that note, because you mentioned the guy was kind of resistant and, it wasn't the idea of, client or it didn't seem that way, at least in what I hear. But you incorporate neuroscience in your speaking methods, right? So is
Yeah.
that where you kind of got that? Like, I find that fascinating. Elaborate on that for us a little bit.
Yeah, that came many years afterwards when I was married to somebody who struggled with a lot of mental illnesses. She was bipolar and depressed and all the different things, a lot of them. So we were really struggling. And so what happened was I kind of went on a quest to try and understand her behaviors and understand her mental illnesses. And so I would read books about it. Then I would contact the authors and I would interview the authors, and I'm trying to understand her. But what would happen is I would get all kinds of these ideas where I would read something about how the brain works and I would get an awareness, and I say, oh, that's why audiences respond that way. That's why this technique doesn't work, or that's why this one does work. So everything that I do pretty much I can back up with neuroscience because I had to study it to try and figure my ex-wife out. So it all worked out really well for everybody.
Yeah, it's funny. I learned people because I got bullied and didn't have any friends forever. So you study people, and I love it. Like, you hear folks all over the planet, right? Goggins, and they say the similar stuff, and I find it fascinating, these stories. So thank you for sharing that. And I tell you what, I'm going to go to your fantastic partner in life and business, Jayne Lowell. Um, wow, look, y'all can't see it on the radio. The smile, that's a genuine smile, guys. Y'all don't know. This big old nose, it's a bloodhound for BS and winter. She is absolutely happy to be here. Thank goodness. It was
Thanks,
a
Mike.
50-50 chance. No, hey, so do us a favor, because your story I find absolutely fascinating. I know the audience and listeners will find it as well. I guess the website version as well, because I love your story with the layoff. Would you mind sharing that with us? Because I won't do it justice.
Sure, no problem. So I'll give you starting from 1991. How's that? Because we could go back a
Beautiful.
lot further, but let's start there. So in 1991, I was actually sitting at my kitchen table with my little baby who was 8 days old, and my then husband at the time came in. And I was really excited because I wasn't a stay at home mom, really. This was like new to me. And so I said to him, how was your day? And he said, well, the company that I'm working for, they decided to close the division. And I was like, oh, and that in itself wouldn't really be a big deal, except that I had been made redundant from my job, which was like 6 months prior to that, right when I was pregnant with Aaron. And so we had bought a new house, and I still owned a house in another city. And we had two other kids from his previous marriage to support. And so we did what any other normal person would do, and that was start a business. So we started a clothing manufacturing business in Montreal, Canada, and we had that business for about 20 years. And the first year, I guess, we did about 1.2 million in business. And I forgot to tell you, but I got pregnant with twins 3 months after Aaron. So here I was with a brand new business, and it wasn't even a year old. And I had 3 babies that were born within 11 and a half months. So that was a really challenging but exciting time for me, and had lots of help to get me through that time. But I'm a pusher, I'm a goer, I'm a doer. There's no in my vocabulary. And then what happened was, along the way, we were doing about $5 million for 15 years. And then because of certain circumstances, we decided that we needed to double the sales. And I was all about the sales and marketing, merchandising. That was my role. And I was like, how am I possibly going to double the sales? Because we only sold majors. So like Walmart, Kmart, Sears, those kind of people. And there were not new majors happening. In fact, they were getting bought out. So I went to a Tom Hopkins seminar in Arizona and thought, I better learn how to sell better. But I realized within like 2 minutes that was not my issue. And I saw a business coach on stage, and I had never done any personal development. I knew nothing about it. And I was like, I'm going to come back to Montreal and I'm going to hire a business coach. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to do something so that I can double the sales. And so I did. I came back and I hired a business coach. And what I understood from that was she didn't give me a magic pill or teach me something I didn't know. But what she taught me was that I was really in my own way, and I was stopping myself. And my big thing was I didn't trust. And so I thought I was the best salesperson, right? I had to be at every meeting. I had to know everything that was going on. And instead, I hired 3 account managers, and we doubled our sales and did 11.4 the next year. So that's kind of my claim to fame.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so I know everybody wants to know this. And by the way, guys, you were gracious enough to offer this free book. Scan that QR code and do not leave. All right. And they can go to tell them the website on the radio, because we want to make sure they get this.
Sure.
What's the best place?
Yeah. So if they want that book, they can go to www.stevelowell, LOWELL.com/free dash book.
Good. stevelowell.com/free-book.
Exactly.
There we go. I got it right. Look at that. Even a blind squirrel catching up at 9. All right. So, wow, I'm amazed because you guys are regular people. We hear this all the time, like, well, I built from the ground up. It is very rare. And you guys were working jobs and living life and doing the things that we all do. And how did you manage to juggle the kids, the pregnancy, and run a business in this kind of uncertain? Because I know what it takes to run a business. Most of these listeners do too. We understand how hard that can be beyond belief. How did you do it?
I like to say that I really was born being positive, and I was born believing that anything was possible. I have a deep faith. And so I just believed that, if I put it out there, and I was going to make it happen, and I would get the answers that I needed, and I would find the ways to do it. And so that's what I did.
Wow. So I got to recap this. I know you alluded to it, but right before we get into the meat, because folks want to know who you are, because you're amazing people, right? I want to know who I'm working with before I work with, right?
Hmm.
So, because there's no shortage of speaking gigs and coaching and things like that. But wow, man, you guys, you lived it, and I'm fascinated by it. Like you just didn't read it out of a book. You lived it, and you've proven it. Wow, that's why you're here, guys. So 5 million in sales wasn't good enough, huh? So throughout all this, right? So,
Well, I'm not going to say it wasn't good enough, but
yeah, well, I love it. I'm going to say because I like to cause trouble, but it's good. People like it. So, but you said, what was holding you back? Was it just the trust issues, or what was it that held you back from going further? What you did?
yeah, I think what happens when we start a business, it's our baby, and we're afraid to bring other team members in. We're afraid to let go of things. We're afraid that if we let go of things, that it won't be maybe the way we want it to be. But the actual reality is that the more people you bring in, the more ideas you have, the more they're thinking differently than you are. And that was really the thing: building a team that I trusted, building a team that we worked together, and we did it as a team together. And I think that's an important lesson, even in our business.
Mm-hmm.
We've built a team.
Yep.
And, we don't rely on just, yes, we lead it, but there's so many people that support us and make this business what it is, not just Steve and I.
Wow. Yeah. So I like y'all. I just y'all
We're so glad.
We like you too.
Yeah, we're warming up. We're warming up, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't take long. I mean, Tanya Everhart connected us. Dadgummit. All right.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, people are already, I'm getting text messages. People want to know what the heck you got going on. So let me go ahead. Sindal, if you would pull up yep. Yes, ma'am. That's it. She read my mind. All right. You are watching. Let's see if I can do Mike King. You are watching Mike King Biz Radio, Hounds of Business presents on ESPN RVA 106.1. Thank you all for tuning in. We're here with the awesome Steve and Jayne Lowell. Man, amazing. Their programs to help people speak, level up on this is amazing. We're going to get into it because this is how I put it. All right, you all don't take credit for this. If I showed up to a place selling Rolls Royce and they got one for a Camry price, dadgummit, I'm on. Right. So you guys have always, and I'm going to brag on you because this is truth. It's true. It's true. You guys have really this high level materials and online and in person and combos. It's amazing what you guys offered. But now you're taking it even further. You're moving that reach to folks who are maybe just starting up and trying to figure it out, limited funds and budget, blowing me away. So tell us what your main thing is right now, because I can't wait to dive into it. What is your main offer? Is it the unlimited access?
No,
I'm so excited about it. I want to talk about it.
Listen, you just witnessed history. You just witnessed history, my friends. This is the first time since the Dead Sea was sick that Jayne asked me if she could speak. What do you think? Should I say yes?
There's something in this country water. That's what it is.
So I'm really excited about this program because for the most part, our business is really working one-on-one with people at a very high level. We start, anywhere around 35K, and those people have full access to Steve, and they, we have stages for them, and we help them present on stage. But for the people who are just starting out or just kind of dipping their toe in, we really never had anything for them. So we created this program called the Speakers All Access Pass. And in that, they actually get an online course to work at their own pace, the ability to come for Q&As every week on a Tuesday. They get all kinds of resources that we have. And then we actually put them on a stage. So we have 4 or 5 locations, and we, work that out after they've invested in the program, what stage they're going to go on. But we've never had this available before. So we're so excited about it. And I'm really excited that we can offer this, through you, because I think it's just so great. And we want as many people to get on those stages as we can possibly put.
You're excited. I feel special. Oh, I feel like redneck Santa Claus right now. Seriously, because it's amazing. Not only did you drop it way down to make it accessible and affordable to so many people, and it will change lives and businesses. That's not a question mark. We wouldn't be talking about it. But now, if they use the promo code Mike50, it's 50% off of that. That's insane.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
No, it really
crazy.
is.
It's crazy. And Mike, just because it's you and because we love you so much, I asked Steve if he would actually add in a couple of bonus sessions where he's just working one-on-one with people. He never does this, like never, never, never. But I said, would you do that for Mike's people?
She's still trying to convince me. I'll be honest with you.
He said yes.
Of course,
he
absolutely.
Said yes.
He said, "Okay, honey, that's what." Like he's like me. He's like, "All right."
Happy wife.
After well, we can already tell you're a persistent lady, so I don't think.
No.
Saying no, I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. It's like Dr. CJ, right? So, wow, I'm blown away. So we got a free book. Okay, and I will put this on the website. If you guys want to go to redneckfinancialcoach.com, I promise I will update it. I haven't used it forever. We will put this stuff on there so you guys can find it. I definitely want to make sure the Friday audience gets this. People on the live stream, it's your lucky dadgum day. This is no joke. So you got the free book. We'll put that QR code back on there. Then you've got the All Access Pass. Go check that out. Scan it. Check it out. It just kept scrolling of stuff to do. It was unbelievable. So let me ask you this. For those people who are hesitant, right, maybe a little scared of public speaking, how does your program help them from that stage fright and nervousness?
So I think this particular program would be, I mean, here's how it's going to help them. They're going to learn the process. They're going to learn how to create a course. They're going to learn some platform skills, some delivery skills. But the reality is, if they've never spoken before, this might be a little advanced for them. And that's why we offered the book. So that book is a really good start. So what I would recommend, if anybody's looking at this path, is to get that book, read and study that book, and then look at the program or join the program. But don't really start doing much until after you've read the book. And now reading a book to learn how to speak is like reading a book to learn how to fly a plane. I wouldn't want to be in the plane with the pilot who's, first time aboard, right? But they don't have to be skilled public speakers to start the program.
Right.
Wonderful. Because you guys you have it from beginning to end. So if somebody's already doing good or great, this can help them take them to the next level to unbelievable,
Absolutely.
right? They may not even know it's possible.
100%.
Right. And that's what I mean. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Steve's real gift is helping people when they're on stages. He loves doing it. It comes from his Dale Carnegie time, where people had to get up at the front of the classroom. And that's really where he's so gifted. So not only is he gifted in the whole signature talk and the messaging and all of that, but he's equally, if not more, gifted on helping you present. And what I say is some people never want to get on a stage, in front of 100 people or 1,000 people. But if you do it once, it helps you with networking. It helps you with even virtual. It helps you with anything, because if you can get on stage and you can speak in front of 100 people, you can do anything. Mm-hmm. So that's what I love about the program. It forces you to get on a stage, and I don't care if you ever get on one again, but it's going to help you in everything else that you do.
100%. Well done.
Oh yeah. And again, this trickles into other things. It's not just about walking on a stage and speaking. It's about knowing your story, knowing how to talk to people, having different things to say at different occasions, right? And I think it's brilliant because it's going to help you do everything. I mean, even what you've taught me, like even my email messages make better sense because I know what I'm doing. I know how to tell the story. I know how to speak it from passion, and I don't look like a robot anymore. So Fantastic. I can't even. I got so many questions I can't ask. So you guys are offering? Are you all offering a Q&A call as part of this package?
Sure.
Every-
If anybody would like to make a call with us, I think you have a link there that you could maybe put up there or tell for the radio audience. Go ahead and make an appointment with Steve or myself, and we'd be happy to talk it through with you. It's not a training call, but it's really how can we help you? Where are you at? What can we best serve you? To do. We're open to that all the time.
Yeah, and tell them Hounds of Business. Mike Asherbrenner sent you, man. I want to make sure. I want to keep
Absolutely.
track of this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Well, we only got a few minutes, man. Time flies when you're having fun. And so let me ask you, if you don't mind. All right, the program, correct me if I'm wrong, does include like access to those proprietary resources. So the 1 minute story template, right? How can some of these? How might it transform someone speaking? How can it help them advance and level up? Give
One
us
of
an
the
example.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges that we hear from fledgling speakers is how do I tell my story and what story should I tell? And that's a big problem for speakers. So the 1 minute story template puts telling your story into such a simple and powerful format, and it's reproducible. So you can do it once, you can do it over and over and over, and it's a really simple process to follow. And that template follows step by step by step. It's fill in the blanks, how to tell your story, and it's very, very powerful.
I love it. Absolutely. So real quick, we're going to end on this because I want people to understand the real impact. As I got better speaking and really got more comfortable and more skillful, it really does make a huge difference. I mean, podcasts are in, right? Short videos across
Mhm.
social media. This can't be overstated. So I'll let you guys argue it out on the radio here. Who wants to answer this or both? Can you share a success story? I know you got millions, but success story of somebody went through your program and got really remarkable results.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead.
So about 20 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, a young man came up to me at a networking event, introduced himself, and he said, Steve, I'm getting all these requests to speak. People want to pay me, but I'm turning them down. So why are you turning them down? He says, because I don't know how to do it. So he came to a couple of public speaking classes that I was holding. And over the course of a few years, I trained him. And now he's a multimillionaire speaker. And so one time last summer, we were speaking and he said he'd earned over $1 million in the last 3 months just from speaking. So that's one of many.
And what
stories.
I love about Alfonso is Steve captured him going through his journey, and we have taken him by video all over the world. Yeah. And Steve uses it as a training because Steve teaches something called the 3 circles of speaking energy. And so Alfonso will come with us wherever we go in the world. And I'm always taking pictures and going, hey, Alfonso, you're in New Zealand today. You're in Singapore. And so he's a really great success story. But we've had lots and lots and lots of success stories of all different people, all different levels. And it's just been such a blessing.
Yeah. Wow. We have to wrap up. I'm going to get in trouble for going this long, but dang, we'll have to have you on the flagship show, Hounds of Business. You're with Mike King Biz Radio, partnership with Hounds of Business community. Unbelievable, guys. Love it. Man, go to the website, redneckfinancialcoach.com. You can see me, Mike Asherbrenner, on LinkedIn. Connect, get the free book, learn. Here's my calling card. I don't care if people say yes or no. Here's what I encourage people to do. Know what the heck you're saying yes and no to before you decide. If you're going to make a life-changing decision, base that on all the information you can get. I'd probably be further along if I had done that early on. So go explore, check these guys out. They've got tons of material, tons of free things. I'm super excited. Thank you for making this accessible and affordable and really changing the game. It's going to change lives because people are going to have more freedom. They're going to be happier, more balanced. They're going to make a bigger impact in the world because that's why we're here. Ain't it? That's why we're here, right?
Right.
Make a big impact. Yep. Yeah, we're good people. We got a good business and we can do more things in life because we're making more money, changing more lives, and we can give back to the community. So I know that's what Mike King's all about, guys. I appreciate you. Catch us on next Tuesday. All right, if you're on the live stream next Tuesday at 2 p.m. New York City. If you're on the radio, hey, it's Friday. All right. So hopefully you have a safe, happy weekend. Appreciate you. And we will be back again with another stellar guest, a personal coach of mine next week. All right, Heidi Mark. So we'll tell that fun story. My goodness. So thank you, Steve and Jayne Lowell. You are rock stars. Cannot wait to plug into your stuff and we will be posting about it. So check the YouTube channels, check the website and the LinkedIn. We're going to keep this going for you guys, but it's not going to last forever. So appreciate you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Let's roll the intro. Let's roll the. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.